Hello and welcome to another part of this chapter, numerical analysis. In the previous part we have discussed about trapezoidal rule. In this part we shall discuss about Simpson's one-third rule. In some previous part we have shown that Simpson's one-third rule can be derived from Gauss-Legendre quadrature formula by replacing n equal to 2. That means for 2 number of subintervals or 3 number of arguments. We know that this is the formula of Simpson's one-third rule. The integration of the function fx from a to b is equal to h by 3 multiplied by y0 plus 4y1 plus y2, where y0 is the functional value at the point a, y2 is the functional value at the point b, and y1 is the functional value at the point x1. Actually, we denote the point a by x0 and we denote b by x2. Then we select x1 in such a manner that x1 equal to x0 plus h and x2 equal to x0 plus 2h. Actually, we break the interval AB into two equal subintervals by these 3 points x0, x1 and x2. Then these 3 points are equidistant arguments and the functional values at these points y0, y1, y2, these are called entries, and h being the distance between any two consecutive arguments. So this is Simpson's one-third rule. Next we give geometrical interpretation of Simpson's one-third rule. Suppose this is the x-axis and this is y-axis. So let this be the point A and this be the point B. So we first draw the graph y equal to fx, the integrand between these 2 points A and B. Suppose this be the graph y equal to fx. Now to integrate this between A and B, that means we have to find or we have to calculate the area between this curve and x-axis and also between x0 and x2, that means from A to B. So we have to compute this area. Now in Simpson's one-third rule, we take one more intermediate point at the point x1 such that x0 plus h equal to x1 and x1 plus h is equal to x2. So x1 is the middle point of A and B. Now suppose this vertical line cuts the graph at this point. So the height of this one is y1, that means the functional value at the point x1, which is denoted by y1, the second ordinate, and this height is y0, the functional value at the point x0, and finally this height is y2. Now in Simpson's one-third rule, by these 3 points, namely x0, y0, x1, y1 and x2, y2, we draw a parabola. We know that we can draw a parabola by these 3 points because these 3 points are not collinear, so we can draw a parabola. Let this be the parabola. Now in Simpson's one-third rule, we compute the area of this parabola bounded by the x-axis and these two lines. So the actual integral or the actual area is approximated by the area of this parabola bounded between the x-axis and these two lines. So this is the geometrical significance of Simpson's one-third rule. So our estimated area is denoted by these slant lines. So this is our estimated area, and the actual area was bounded by this curve y equal to fx and the x-axis. So we clearly find that there are some errors. First one is this part, this area appears as error. Also this part, this one appears as error, and also finally this part appears as error. So in Simpson's one-third rules, there are some errors. So these are the errors. To overcome this error or to minimize this error, we use the composite Simpson's one-third rule. Next we discuss about composite Simpson's one-third rule. So actually this is our Simpson one-third rule for 3 points x0, x1 and x2. So the integration of fx from a to b is equal to h by 3 multiplied by y0 plus 4y1 plus y2. Now in Simpson's one-third rule, we get some error. To minimize this error, we use composite Simpson's one-third rule. In this case, we break the interval a to b into n number of subintervals. But remember that in Simpson's one-third rule, we need even number of subintervals. So here we assume that n is an even number. So we break the interval into n number of subintervals where n is even. So one can assume that n is equal to 2m. So we break the interval a to b into 2m number of subintervals. And we break the interval a to b by this n plus 1 number of points, namely x0, x1, x2, x3, x4 up to xn. And these points are equidistant, where h being the distance between any two consecutive arguments. Now if we compute the functional values at these arguments, then we get these values y0, y1, y2, y3, y4 up to yn. These are the functional values. Now we want to apply Simpson's one-third rule multiple times in these subintervals. So first we take first two subintervals from x0 to x2. So we shall apply this Simpson's one-third rule in this interval once, and next we shall apply this Simpson's one-third rule in the next two subintervals from x2 to x4. Continuing in this way, we use this Simpson's one-third rule in the final two subintervals from xn-2 to xn. Remember that n is even, so we get even number of subintervals. So here we write integration a to b fx dx. This is equal to, now we can write a to b is equal to x0 to xn fx dx. This is equal to, we can break this interval from x0 to x2 fx dx plus x2 to x4 fx dx, and continuing in this way, the final one is xn-2 to xn fx dx. Now we shall apply Simpson's one-third rule in each of these integrals. So first one is this one, x0 to x2 fx dx. So if we apply Simpson's one-third rule here, we shall find that this will be h by 3 multiplied by y0 plus 4y1 plus y2, plus if we apply Simpson's one-third rule here from x2 to x4, then by the formula it should be h by 3, it is multiplied by y2 plus 4y3 plus y4, and continuing in this way, the final one will be, if we apply this in this interval from xn-2 to xn, then we shall find h by 3, it is multiplied by yn-2 plus 4 times yn-1 plus yn. Now we can take h by 3 common from all these terms, and if we take h by 3 common here, we shall find that y0 and yn, the first entry and the last entry, appears only one each, but all the remaining entries appears either 4 times or 2 times. As for example, this one y1 appears 4 times, that is 4y1. y3 is multiplied by 4. Continuing in this way, we shall find that all the odd entries are multiplied by 4. Now consider the remaining even entries. So there is one y2, and we have one more y2 here, so this will be 2y2. Next, this is y4. If we consider the next formula, then there will be one y4 again, so there will be 2 times y4. Continuing in this way, we shall find that all the even entries will be multiplied by 2 and all the odd entries are multiplied by 4. So if we take h by 3 common, we find that the integration of fx from a to b by composite Simpson's one-third rule can be found by computing y0 plus yn, the first entry plus the last entry, plus 4 times sum of the remaining odd entries plus 2 times sum of the remaining even entries. So we can remember the formula like this: integration of fx from a to b is equal to h by 3. It is multiplied by the first entry plus the last entry plus 4 times sum of the odd entries plus 2 times sum of the even entries. So this is composite Simpson's one-third rule. Next we give geometrical interpretation of this composite Simpson's one-third rule. Suppose that this is x-axis and this is y-axis, and this is the point A and this is the point B. Now for simplicity, we break this interval into 4 equal sub-intervals, each of with h, by this 5 number of points x0, x1, x2, x3 and x4, where x0 is equal to A and x4 is equal to B. Now we compute the functional values at these points, which are y0, y1, y2, y3 and y4. Now if we draw this curve y equal to fx between x-axis and these 2 points A and B, then suppose this is the graph. This is our graph y equal to fx. We take first 2 sub-intervals from x0 to x2. Now from x0 to x2, we use this Simpson's one-third rule. For that we need these 3 points x0, x1 and x2. So if we apply this Simpson's one-third rule here, we know that the area bounded by this curve between this x-axis and these 2 lines is estimated by the area of this parabola bounded between x-axis and these 2 lines, 2 vertical lines. Similarly, if we apply Simpson's one-third rule in the second 2 intervals, then we know that the area of this curve between x-axis and these 2 lines is estimated by the area of this parabola bounded between x-axis and these 2 lines. So here we find that the area denoted by these cross lines, these are the errors. So it can be seen that if we apply composite Simpson's one-third rule, then the error becomes much less than in case of Simpson's one-third rule. So our target will be to break this interval a to b into number of sub-intervals, and then we shall apply the Simpson's one-third rule in each of these sub-intervals so that the error can be minimized. As the number of sub-intervals increases, the amount of error decreases. To get the accurate result, we need more and more sub-intervals. So the result will be more accurate if we use more intervals. So this is the geometrical interpretation of Simpson's composite Simpson's one-third rule. Next we consider one example. We consider this same example we have considered in case of trapezoidal rule, that evaluate this integral from 0 to pi by 2 of this integrand root over 1 minus 0.162 sine square x by Simpson's one-third rule by taking 10 sub-intervals. So here we have to select 10 sub-intervals, and remember that in Simpson's one-third rule we need even number of sub-intervals. Here 10 is even. So we start the solution. So this is our function fx is equal to root over 1 minus 0.162 sine square x, and a is equal to 0 and b equal to pi by 2. We need 10 sub-intervals, so n equal to 10. From here we can find the value of h. H is equal to b minus a by n. From here we find that b is pi by 2, so pi by 2 minus 0 by n. That means it is pi by 20. To apply composite Simpson's one-third rule, we first break the interval a to b into n number of sub-intervals. In this case, we break the interval into 10 sub-intervals by this 11 points x0 to x10. And we find that the width of each sub-interval h is pi by 20. So x0 equal to 0 and x1 equal to pi by 20, x2 equal to 2 pi by 20, x3 3 pi by 20. Continuing in this process, we finally find x10 equal to 10 pi by 20, which is pi by 2. So these are the equidistance arguments. Next, we need to compute the functional values at these arguments. Now using the calculator, we can easily find the functional values at these arguments. So we have found that at the point x0, the functional value is 1. So similarly, we have computed all the functional values. Now remember that here we have taken the functional values which are correct up to 4 decimal places. So this is our y0, this is y1, y2, y3, y4, y5 up to y10. So we need all these entries to compute the value of this integral. By composite Simpson's one-third rule, we know that the value of this integral is equal to h by 3. It is multiplied by the first entry, that is y0, plus the last entry, which is y10, plus 4 times sum of the odd entries, which are y1, y3, y5, y7 up to y9, plus 2 times sum of the even entries, which are y2, y4, y6 and y8. Now we need to put all these values to find the value of this integral. We have already obtained the functional values at these arguments. So we just replace all the entries here, and after the calculation we find that this is equal to 1.5051, which is correct up to 4 decimal places. So this is our required result. So the value of this integral, which is correct up to 4 decimal places, is 1.5051. So that completes the solution. With this, we complete this part. So see you in the next part of this chapter. Until then, thanks for watching.